120, 102, 112, 128, 198.
Right, everyone. So you meet me in Scotland. So my mate Mark messaged me a couple of about a month ago and said would I like to come skate fishing in Auburn. So not wanting to miss up on the opportunity, I said absolutely yes. I'm a little bit worried that I won't be able to handle a skate at all, but it's a boat where they do it professionally, so we'll see how we go. And, the boat trip is tomorrow, so I've got some time to kill. I'm actually staying overnight tonight, not in the van, but in a hotel, just cause literally 30 quid a night. It's ridiculous. So I thought, for the luxury of a shower after fishing, I'll stay there. And then after that, I'm going to go on a bit of a mission around Scotland, find some nice spots, and hopefully find some fish. And then hopefully I'll bring you back when I'm fishing. The steam out from Auburn Harbour took around 30 to 40 minutes. So this little clip just shows you Lee tackling up. As you can see, it's big gear. The stuff he uses is tested time and time again. As you might be able to see, the rods are super heavy duty, as are the reels. The line on there, again, is matched up to be heavy duty. If you need to know any more about the exact size of the reels, the breaking strains of the rods and the line, just let me know. But basically he provides everything and it's all pro gear. So as you can see, I mounted the camera just near the cab here. It captured all of our day's exploits, all of the fish and all of the fishing. I zoom in on parts and also use my other camera to do some close-ups later when we catch some fish. Once all the baits were on the bottom fishing away, it was just a case of wait. So we waited. And we waited. I sped up the waiting parts for you, as I normally do, but I've left them in just because that backdrop is fantastic. After a few hours in of waiting and waiting, Lee decided it was brew time. And let's be honest, one of my videos wouldn't be the same without a brew section. And Mark saved the brew section by providing the wagon wheels. As the mountains testified, It was blooming cold that day. I think it was about 3 degrees. So those cups of teas and cups of coffees were well needed. Anyway, I'll speed it up again and then show you in a second my first introduction into big fish fishing. So this rod going down now is just a light setup and for getting bait. I'll show you the bait in a second when we pull it up. Almost instantly getting bites on it. So Lee hooked into it, passed it over to me and said, deal with that. After lots of winding, Lee came over to see what was taking me so long. Like a total idiot and novice that I am, I never noticed that the drag was set super light, so I wasn't even putting any line back on the reel. I don't know. So my introduction into big fish fishing was here, with me catching just the bait. And sadly for this story, it really was the bait. On the same hook was a tiny little one as well, but that went back. It was well into the afternoon now, and Lee the skipper decided he was going to move. Skipper Lee did say that by this stage he'd normally at least have had 2 skate, but he then joked that he was due a blank on the boat, so we really hoped we weren't going to be that blank. So it was up anchor and move to some different fishing grounds. Skipper did explain that the area that we were moving to would be a bit choppier, but he explained if we were willing to deal with a little bit of uncomfortability, we'd almost definitely get some skate. The previous area that we were fishing over was 400 foot down, and when we'd moved to this other spot it was actually 450 foot down. So you'll see in a second the move did pay off, but not quite as we intended. You'll see in a second that Lee hits into something, but sadly it was something big, and it was on the light rod, i.e. the bait rod. Right everyone, so we do have a development. I'll just show you. All right there, Matt?
Not really, no.
So basically, hooked a skate on the light rod that was used for getting bait. So he's going to be here a while. I'll not leave this bit of film rolling.
I wouldn't. You could take me back on in an hour.
So at this stage, Lee the skipper handed over the rod to Matt and Stephen, and they took it in turns to try and pull the fish up. As I say, hooking a decent sized skate, which Skipper thought it was, on a really light rod not designed for it, is hard work and a very slow procedure. Sadly, after a grueling 45-minute fight with the fish, it bit through the line and it was lost. But as you'll see in the corner, Lee hooks into a skate, but this time on the gear designed for it. So Stephen decided he was going to take the first fish. So Stephen rigged himself up with the back harness and the rod butt harness as well. Again, skipper and the boat provide all this equipment. Again, being a dab hand at this kind of fishing, Lee then moves the other rods to make sure they're not going to get tangled with the fish that's hooked, and then gives Stephen the tips he needs to be able to pull the fish in. Stephen's now into one, I'll just show you. And it's running. So yeah, so I'll come back to you in a little bit. From this moment onwards, we each get a skate in turn. But not to worry, I'll speed up each fight as it can take quite a while to fight a skate. As you can see from this footage of Stephen fighting his skate, it really is tough going. It's basically a case of holding onto it and trying to gain as much line back as possible when you can. All throughout each fight on each of our fish, Skipper Lee explains some tips and tricks on how to gain on the fish. So keeping the rod as high as you can and then lowering it to gain and to put more line back on the reel. Obviously with the aim to get the fish to the surface, but it's very important that you let the fish dive and run when it wants to. Right, Steve's getting a bit closer now, so I'll show you. It's tough going. It's going to kick my butt if I get one.
Here it is. Get it.
Well done, lad.
Gotcha. Look at that.
So do you want to tell the Chorley Gazette how you feel?
Knackered.
Absolute beast. We're all gob on him.
I don't want to be dog fishing.
Smile for the camera. Wow. You would not want to be a dog fish. So it took Stephen just 25 minutes to pull that skate in, which, as you'll see later, for our party is quite quick. The fish is measured and its weight is approximated using a scale. And so the estimated weight of Stephen's fish was
102.
wow.
Well done, Steve.
And then the rod in the corner started going. So Skipper confirmed that it was skate on. So, it was my turn. and so once harnessed up, I was all in. This type of fishing really is brutal. It's brutal for the likes of me, a little bit unfit, and it's brutal for anybody that's a novice. For me personally, about 20 minutes in, everything started aching, including my back and my shoulders. But at this stage, it really is a case of just keep going and get that fish in. You really do have to experience it to know how it feels, but hopefully this video can shed a bit of light on what it's like to go skate fishing. The next rod to go was in the other corner. This time it was Dave's turn. So Dave got all his gear on, and then he was all in. Now, as I know, and as you'll see later, Dave will testify to this being very, very hard work.
Tim's into one, how does it feel? Got a double hook up. David on the other side.
Everything I've said so far does seem like skate fishing is super hard work, but every last minute of hard work is totally well worth it in the end, because honestly, these fish are amazing. I think the skipper could tell at this stage we were going to be a while, so he decided to have his dinner. As me and Dave were still battling those fish, the skipper hooked Mark up with one as well.
Free skate on the way up at the moment.
Sadly, after a short but tough fight, Mark's fish slipped the hook, but not to worry, Mark more than makes up for it later on. I'll just leave you with 30 seconds of time-lapse footage of me and Dave battling our fish. So I've nearly got my skate to the surface, so in a moment I'll hand you over to my glasses camera. Although a cheap version of a glasses camera, my glasses do record a first person view of me bringing in the skate. Just before I go to the glasses cam, you'll see on the left that skipper hooks Mark into another skate.
Come on now.
Unfortunately, at this stage, we saw that it was hooked in the tail. These really are hardy fish and won't damage the fish at all being hooked in the tail, but it does mean that the hook can slip at any moment. Again, hopefully not sounding like a broken record, but Lee the skipper was fantastic in the way they handled the fish and gave us the advice as we were landing the fish. Eventually, after a bit of messing, it was in a position where we could gaff the fish and get it on board. Please don't think that the fish are harmed in any way by any of these practices on this boat. Gaffing a fish of this size is no different to any of the sharp rocks that it might encounter on the bottom, and the fact that Lee has let us know that the same fish do get caught over and over again does suggest that any fishing isn't really a deterrent to them feeding and thriving in that area.
Hooked in the tail as well.
These magnificent animals are taken out for no longer than is necessary. Just long enough to record the catch, and then it's measured and its weight estimated again, and on this occasion was
112.
Right. Flap of the wings.
right. Now I'm finished with that fish. I'll have a walk around and show you everybody else catching this. That's into one, and it's just literally took off running. Just trying to get him back. And Dave's been going on this one
50 minutes.
for a good old time.
Feeling a bit out of my age.
And then Mark,
Fortunately, the backrest is pulling on me.
it is just holding on, isn't it, really, at this stage? In an astonishing 13 minutes, Matt ends up getting his skate to the boat. There's Matt. Made light work of that there. Go on, I'm filming you, and then I'll get the DSLR. The skate was again measured and estimated its weight, and this time its weight being
70.
Next, it was Dave's turn to get his fish to the boat. This type of fishing really isn't fastest wins. No two fish are the same, and you really are battling your own fish. Slow and steady wins the race. Yeah, indeed. Oh, wait. Well done, Dave.
Well done.
That is well deserved. Ooh, big boy.
Big old boy.
That is a big old boy.
Big meal.
Wow.
Have a sit down, David.
Similar to me, Dave's fish took over an hour to get in. But that's all seen in the estimated size of this one, which ended up being
128.
Well done, David.
Last but definitely not least, it was Mark's turn to pull his fish in. Again, more credit to Lee. As you can see, the sun is actually going down. We are losing the light quickly, but he's not rushing us, and he really wants Mark to win that battle.
Proper one.
Oh, that's a fish. That's a 2 gaff fish, that.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Wow.
Absolute cracker, that man.
Well worth the wait. You want to go that size?
Hopefully these pictures really do this beast justice. This was an absolute cracker from Mark, and actually took Mark under an hour to pull in. Again, measured, its estimated size was
98. Amazing creatures.
Well done, everyone.
Sunset sail. Yeah. So we're coming in now, and it's been a really good day. Every single one of us beaming ear to ear, aren't we?
One or two more broken than others, I see.
For now, that'll be a sign off. I might do a bit of a rundown later on, but other than that, I'll see you later.
Mark! Well, thanks again, and it's been a fantastic trip, chaps.
Cheers.
And thanks again.
Thank you.
Cheers, good to speak to you.
Nice to see you. See you again.
See you again soon. And just remember, your skipper's day doesn't often end when you step off the boat.
Bye.
Bye. Hi everybody, and welcome back. We do hope you're really well. We hope you enjoyed today's video, even 1% of how much we enjoyed making it. It was an absolutely fantastic trip, and hopefully I'll do it again in the future, but maybe when my arm's actually recovered. A huge thanks to Mark and his sons Stephen and Matt, and his brother David, and a huge thanks to Skipper again as well. So in a moment I'll show you on the screen, on the maps, the rough location that we got the fish. As you can imagine, our skipper doesn't probably want me to pinpoint exactly where we caught the fish, so I won't be doing that, but I'll give you a rough idea on where we went. Anyway, I'll show you now on the maps where we went. So as you can see, zoomed in to Scotland, this here is Oban. It is very much a centre for skate fishing, and there are various boats. There's not just the Laura Dawn too. That was the boat that Matt booked, which was Mark's son. So by all means, have a look at all the other boats as well. I'm sure all the skippers are just as cool. So basically, we steamed out from Oban around here, and then basically in the middle of that area there, which is basically the Firth of Lorne. In all honesty, I have no idea whether or not the skipper cares whether I show the location or not, but I'll only show a rough location just out of respect for the skipper. Obviously, if you're going to attempt to do any skate fishing yourself, this is by far a how-to video, and please do your own research and or let the professionals help you on one of the many boats. So I've just zoomed in there to Oban itself. As you can see, it's quite a sprawling town. It's quite a large town with lots of amenities. You'll not be stuck for any food or drink there, and you'll not be stuck for any touristy things. I think there's a distillery and all kinds of stuff there as well. Very lucky where I was staying, as this is the hotel that I stayed at, and the slipway that we got picked up from was just there. I'll put a link in the description to the hotel, and hopefully I'll put a link in as well to Lee's boat, and how to book with him if you want to. I'll just zoom in a little bit and show you the seafront. So this here was my hotel, and I parked the van on that car park there. And like I say, we got picked up from this slipway. I'll just give you a little 360 of this area. So that's about it for this video, and thanks for watching once again. As I alluded to in the video, I do go on a mission after the skate trip around Scotland, doing some shore fishing and a few other exploits as well. So after this trip, I was absolutely smitten with Scotland, and my brother wanted to go somewhere for a few days, so I said Scotland. My brother has some fantastic drone footage that he took when we went on that trip. We do catch fish as well on that trip, so like I say, stay tuned, and that video will be dropping very soon. As ever, if you do like the content, do subscribe to the channel if you want to, and remember to hit the bell notification icon as well, and you'll be notified of our latest videos when they drop. By all means as well, if you have friends that are into this kind of thing and you want to share our channel with them, by all means do so. So that just remains for me to say, thanks so much for watching once again, and we'll see you on the next one.